Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called Freakoffs, and he often electronically recorded them. The Freakoffs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as cocaine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
Jay-Z had kept his mouth shut a long time, but it finally seems like he's broken his quiet out of guilt and possibly to protect himself.
Pain. So you put on this shell of this tough person that's really willing to fight me and possibly kill me because I looked at you.
Mm-hmm. When Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the Freakoffs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair.
But why has Jay-Z decided to speak up now? Why not reveal Diddy before someone tells on you? Actually, Diddy had too much information about Jay-Z because he was caught on the Diddler Freakoff tapes, and Diddy has always used those records as a bargaining chip.
Came out defending Diddy. All these celebrity friends he have, and nobody came out.
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America like that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them. And they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. Oh, we got you on, hey, buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. We're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician.
Thank you, Gene. We completely understand what you mean. Jay-Z has long been reported to have been an accomplice to Diddy's crimes and to have benefited from them. In fact, this is what Jaguar Wright said about his part in Diddy's horrible sex running business.
I-D-D-Y-D-E-V-I-L. The devil. He's the devil. And if he ain't the devil, he is the damn short shepherd for him. He wants to be just like him. Let's get Diddy indicted and let's get Jay-Z up next.
Do you believe?
I promise you, whatever tricking the diddler is being looked at for, Sean Carter aided and abetted or was directly involved. It's about to get real tense, and there's a lot of girls and boys who are still trapped inside the machine, working, paying their flesh debts. There's still a lot of them, and they know things that people ain't gonna be comfortable with them knowing. What people really need to be worried about is getting all of the witnesses to come forward before they disappear.
What about the part about witnesses going missing? That's really interesting because both Jay-Z and Diddy have done that before. It was said that Aaliyah had to suffer for Jay-Z, but in Diddy's case, it has become a real federal charge.
23, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine.
But who could Diddy have intimidated? What celebrities is Diddy alleged to have abused and hurt? Well, one of the biggest names that comes to mind is Kim Porter. And man, is there a lot to unpack here just a week after Diddy's arrest. R&B singer Elb Shore has jumped on Instagram with some jaw-dropping claims about a plot behind the 2018 death of Kim Porter. If you're not familiar, Porter was not only Shore's ex, but also had an on and off romance with Diddy. Now Shore is suggesting that Porter's tragic death might be related to her supposed knowledge of Diddy's alleged sex trafficking activities. It's wild. On Monday, Elb Shore took to Instagram with 4 heated posts calling Porter's death a tragic murder. He thinks that several people surrounding Porter at the time of her death from lobar pneumonia had a hand in some bigger plot. According to him, Porter's death wasn't just an unfortunate case of illness, but part of a much bigger conspiracy. In his posts, Brown says Porter was ready to follow in the footsteps of Cassie Ventura, who had filed a lawsuit against Diddy just weeks earlier.
Was always at least 1 or 2 steps ahead. She knew how it worked. She just miscalculated at the end.
Miscalculated to the level in which he'd go, or
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for her, she thought not even he would be willing to do that. You know, especially in the way he did it.
Right.
I'm still surprised that people have the ability to question it when her casket was pre-ordered.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Like that fact in detail, people keep forgetting to mention. She had her casket ready 3 weeks before she died. Custom.
But instead her life was cut short. Gene Deal has confirmed these claims.
Oh, Albie Shore, he came out saying that Kim Porter death needs to be looked into.
I think that Al being his ex-wife, he have every right, knowing about the stuff that came out about Diddy and what he was doing. You understand what he has done in the past, and people have overlooked it. By him coming out and saying that he hoped that he could get her case reopened. There was a guy called John Paperwork, the Paperwork Party. They would put in an open petition to get Kim's case reopened. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll be sure doing this is showing that, you know, he still got love for Quincy's mother. He still want to find out the truth, because allegedly Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death. And then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
So you feel the same way about her death being suspect?
I don't think nobody in America thinks nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, you know, Kim had, I think a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, you know, She could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh.
He even went on to reveal how Diddy had a bodyguard watching Kim Porter's body from the moment she died.
But what I really believe is that they might got into a little spat, a little fight, something went down, and Puff did that play fighting stuff that he always do, and that pillow fighting stuff, and probably smothered her. But I wouldn't say that on the air. I wouldn't let people know that he probably smothered her to death, and because she had a bad cold or she felt some kind of way that she died doing them having that play fight with the pillow fights and everything and smothered her. But I'm not gonna say nothing like that on the program because I don't wanna get myself in trouble. As far as saying that with him and say, oh, he said this and he said that. Nah, I'm just being facetious. I'm just being sarcastic that if, you know, in those type of realms and those type of things, because I'm never gonna say that he probably smothered her to death. I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they rush to do the coroner come in and say, yo, she had pneumonia. She died of pneumonia, but nobody did no autopsy or nothing like that. Get out of here. Have her funeral, put her in a gold casket. It takes, what, 2 months to get those gold caskets, had it within a week? Or you're a millionaire, I guess you can. You're a multi-millionaire, you can get it that quick. Then had somebody at the funeral home, had a bodyguard at the funeral home watching the dead body for 24 hours up until the funeral.
He even went on to tell how Diddy had a bodyguard watching Kim Porter's body from the moment she died.
Diddy was terrified of Kim Porter's book. Just like Jay-Z was afraid of Kathy White's interview. It's funny how things that they're afraid of disappear.
Brown is now asking for a full-blown investigation, demanding that everyone around Porter, especially her publicists, be questioned by authorities. He's accusing them of a plot to prevent her tell-all memoir from being released. According to him, someone swapped out parts of her book, erasing the more explosive details, but the thing is her book, titled Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice from the Other Side, was supposedly saved on a flash drive by Porter before she died and later handed over to music producer Chris Todd. Todd, under the pen name Jamal T. Millwood, released it on Amazon on September 6th, and believe it or not, this book has long been a topic of discussion, and its existence has been confirmed by reliable sources.
But it came with the abuse. It came with the abuse so bad that, like I said, she had to take a corkscrew and split his wrist open that led to his drug abuse. Because when she split his wrist open, he had so much pain, I guess, in that wrist, he never got off those opiates. He never got off the drug for his wrist. You know, you got reports, you got other bodyguards that said that they saw him punch her in the eye, give her a black eye. Got other bodyguards said that he broke her nose. People gotta understand that Puff had about six bodyguards. Big Gene had him on or Saturdays and Sundays. And at nighttime when, you know, he'll get mad at some bodyguards because they ain't doing what they supposed to do or what he say he do the way like that. And I'll get a call in the middle of the night, yo, Puff them at this club, Gene. He wanna know, can you come down? Or whatever, this, that, and the third. It used to happen like that sometimes.
Brown claims that he knew what Porter wanted to write in her memoir from frequent and intimate conversations, and she was trying to help him during a dark time in his life. Brown's been pushing this narrative for years, but he says he's been brushed off by the police. He even claims that efforts to silence him led to a major health crisis in 2023 when he fell into a coma and was hospitalized for multiple illnesses. In an Instagram post, he described his terrifying experience of being intubated on a ventilator for 38 days and surviving multiple organ failure. Kim Porter was found dead in her TCA Lake home in 2018 after suffering from flu-like symptoms for days. At first, the coroner put her cause of death as deferred but later ruled it as lobar pneumonia. She had 3 children with Diddy Christian and twins Delilah and Jesse, and a son, Quincy, with ALB.
You was Diddy's PR team.
the smartest thing for you to do would be create your own version of the Kim Porter book. And make sure it gets pushed out there first, so anything that comes after will always be held in question. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's great spin. Yeah. Get his version out before the real version come out. Y'all better believe everything that Al B. Shore says. It's about to get disgusting. See, this is the thing. Kim's official book was never sent out to anybody in complete form. See, this is tape. How I know that the book isn't completely reputable. I know that there's a lot of truth in that book. But it is spin, and it is brilliant spin, and it is juicy spin. And I'm going to show y'all the value of what understanding how to spin narratives can change jury's minds.
Yeah. In his Instagram posts, Brown claims that important notes for Porter's memoir were stolen, and that her computer and other devices suddenly disappeared, pointing to a possible cover-up. He's also made not-so-subtle hints that Diddy himself may have been involved in trying to keep some secrets from seeing the light of day. This is something Jaguar Wright has confirmed.
He is the perfect example of what happens when you don't want to be yourself. She can't sing, but they got her a microphone and let her pretend.
So let me
She
ask.
was an okay actress, but, you know, she was good at acting. She'd been doing that all her life. J-Lo is just, I don't know. Every man she's been with has said the same thing, except for Diddy. Diddy's the only one that said she was a great girlfriend and how he wish he hadn't messed it up.
Yeah.
How is that the only man in her life that had regrets about their relationship, but everybody else ran for the hills? Like, it's not nobody noticing that. That everybody else that's left her, oh, she was too this, she was this, she was that. But Diddy said she was perfect.
Maybe she was meant for a man.
What happens if you're only perfect for the devil?
God.
What the f does that make you?
Damn.
Lately, a Diddy list has been circulating on social media, allegedly featuring big names tied to the moguls Jay-Z, Beyonce, Usher, and Rihanna, to name a few.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp?
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't necessarily understand it.
Uh-huh.
Biggie Smalls was there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
your parents
Jodeci,
were
Mary
okay?
J. Blige. They didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
Does he have you doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you humble somewhat? Or are you just like, can you stay up till 4 a.m. with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.